Now, can we prove that there is a supreme being, that there is a God? Well, before answering that question, I'd like to preface it by saying that most people do not arrive at their conviction that God exists because it has been proved to them. I think most human beings seem to have a kind of spontaneous assurance that there is a God. It comes naturally to the human mind to turn to God, to realize that there is a being to whom they are responsible. Even in their secret actions, they realize that they can't get away with evil because their conscience keeps telling them they're under a law, that they're subject to judgment for the harm that they do. And the world wouldn't make sense if there were not a God who who imposed a law and had sanctions and would carry it out, and who could forgive too. So I think people spontaneously turn to God for forgiveness, and when they have a bad conscience, if there were no God, there would be no possibility of divine forgiveness for one's sins. And they turn to God for help, and when they get into a jam, a difficult, dangerous situation, thus the human mind spontaneously says, God help me. They say there are no atheists in foxholes. I think it's true, and in a situation of great danger, the belief in God asserts itself. So I think there is something built into human nature that spontaneously reaches out to this higher being who is God over all and above all. Christians also believe in the existence of God on authority because they have been taught that God exists. Jesus himself constantly refers to God as his Father, and he is totally in the service of God. So in accepting a person like Jesus, one can't accept him without accepting his conviction and teaching that God exists. The Church teaches that God exists. Scripture teaches that God exists. So in accepting the teaching of the Church and of Scripture of Jesus Christ, one cannot accept it without also accepting the existence of God. And most people, I suppose, learn the existence of God, first of all, through their parents. But they find all of this credible because it confirms that kind of spontaneous conviction of the existence of God, which is inseparable from human nature. Anthropologists say that there really is no tribe, no clan, no nation that's without religion.